Okay, I just don't want any video to be too long. Okay, so question says calculate the weighted mean for the number of times the spinner lands in blue. So we have our weighted mean. Weighted mean, remember, it's x1 times it by its frequency plus x2 times it by its frequency, and so on, divided by the total frequency. And this marker doesn't work. So gonna get another one. Okay, so these are outcomes times the frequency, or so x1 times it by its frequency. So now we go here, so the outcomes times the frequency. So your first outcome, this is x by the way, is 0. So we have 0 times 1. Okay, or you could put the multiplication sign, plus 1 times 4, plus 2 times 6, plus 3 times 4, and lastly 4 times 1, over the total frequency, which is 16. Okay, so the outcomes times its frequency, so that's the outcome, that's the frequency. So we get, that's 0, so we get 4 plus 12 plus 12 plus 4, divided by 16, gives us 16 plus 16 is 32, divided by 16 gives us 2. So what that means, if you were to do this over and over and over again, you spun it 4 times, on average, it will hit blue twice out of 4 spins. Okay, so that means it's the weighted mean being average. Okay, so if we were to do this over and over again, you would get an average of 2 blues on the spinner. Okay, but sometimes you might get 0, sometimes you might get 4 times. On average, it's going to happen twice. Okay, now we're going to do the same thing for the expectation. Say expectation is equal to each x value times its probability. Okay, and we go from the first term to our last term. So it would be from our first outcome is 0 and our last outcome is 4. Okay, so sigma, remember, means sum of, so we're adding. Okay, so we have x1 times the probability. So 0 is your first outcome times the probability of 1 over 16. Plus our outcome of 1 times the probability of 4 over 16. I'm not using the reduced one because since I'm working with fractions, I'm going to use them all as denominators of 16. Plus 2 times 6 over 16 plus 3 times 3 times 4 over 16 plus 4 times 1 over 16. Okay, that's the sum of. Now we're going to solve each one. Well, 0, that's a 0. Okay, how do we multiply fractions and whole numbers again? So recall, you multiply just the whole number times the numerator. So we have here. If you want to add the 1 in the denominator, you can, but just multiply the numerator and keep the denominator. So we have 4 over 16 plus 8 over 16 plus 12 over 16 plus 4 over 16. Sorry, 4, this should have been 12. Okay, so when you add them all together, 4, 16, and 16 is 32. Divided by 16 gives you an answer of 2. Okay, so expectation, I know they came out to be the same thing. It's not always that case. But expectations means what should I expect? So I have half red, half blue. I spin it 4 times. What should I expect? You should expect that it'll land on blue twice and then red the other 2 times. Okay, is it always going to be the case? No. What should you expect? It should expect 2 blues out of 4 spins. All right, last question. Okay, a lottery has a $10,000 or $10 million grand prize, 3 $500,000 second place prizes, and 10 $50,000 third prizes. A ticket costs $5 and 4 million were sold. What is the expected value of each ticket? Okay, so key word here, expected value. So we're doing expectation again. So our expectation is the sum of each value times the by its probability from the first term to its last term. Okay, so let's work together. So each outcome times its probability. So the outcomes would be the prizes. Okay, so let's go through each of the prizes. So what's our first prize? Well, our first prize is the grand prize, which is $10 million. So our first option is $10 million times by the probability of that occurring. Okay, probability usually could be a fraction. Okay, so probability occurs. So since the probability, remember, probability is the number of ways it occurs over the total number of outcomes. Okay, so how many ways can this happen? Well, there's only one prize. There's a grand prize, so there's only one of them. Over a total of how many possible outcomes can there be, or how many tickets in this case. So the number of tickets we have is 4 million. So in this case, it's 1 out of 4 million. So 1 out of 4 million chance that you'll win the grand prize. Okay, that's the first one. Plus, now what is our second prize? Our second outcome or our second prize is 500,000 times it by the probability. So how many times can second place occur? Should only happen once, but how many second place prizes are there? In this case, there is 3 of them. So 3 out of them out of the 4 million tickets. Okay, plus we have a third place prize, which is $50,000. And there's 10 of those out of 4 million tickets. Okay, so 10 million times 1 over 4 million. So I know the light's kind of in there, but that's 500,000 times 3 over 4 million, and 50,000 times 10 over 4 million. Okay, we're going to solve these. So multiply numerator and then divide by the fraction. So multiply and divide it. I already have the answers here. So if you do this one, it's 2.5. 2.5, then we have 0.375, and lastly we have 0.125. So when you add them all together, it comes out to 3. Okay. So that's going to be $3 per ticket. Okay, so the question is what the expected value of each ticket. Well, we have it's going to be $3 a ticket, so it's worth $3 for every ticket. So each ticket has a value of $3. But it's $3, but it costs $5 to buy the ticket. So we need to subtract the $5. So each one will give you a value of $3, but it costs $5. So then it ends up being negative $2 per ticket. So on average, each person is going to lose $2 over the tickets. which makes sense because it's a lottery and they get the extra $2, right? So they have this much of a payout and they're collecting money at the same time. Okay, that's how lotteries work. Everyone buys tickets. They make the prize $10 million, but maybe they sold $15 million in tickets. So they keep $5 million for themselves and give out 10. Okay, if no one claims, say no one wins the lottery, then people buy again, right? Say they buy now 20 million. So the jackpot, no, sorry, say now the pot's $20 million, but there was 30 million sold, so the lottery takes 10 million for themselves, 20 million is the grand prize or the giveaway to the people. Okay, so that's how lotteries work. So in this case, the expected value would be minus $2. Okay, I just want to double check something in the textbook with the questions, because one is they word it differently. So sometimes they want this value, sometimes they want that one. So let me go through this. Where is it? Okay, so this one is the payout, this one's the profit. So in like number 9, it says what's the expected payout? The expected payout is 3, and it says what is the expected profit? The expected profit is $2. Okay. So that's the end of that last lesson. The homework here is page 151, 1 to 6, 9 ABC. Okay, so you guys are expected to have that done and completed Friday, and then over the weekend it's supposed to be completed. Okay, see you guys later.